What is good, y'all? DoseofDiallo back with another banger on the channel, and welcome back to another Suicide Squad discussion video. Yes, it's been a while since we sat down and talked about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The last time I talked about this game was me giving y'all my full review on Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2 with the Joker, and it wasn't too great, but it was a review, and it was something that I enjoyed playing for the time being until it was over. So now, with us getting Season 2 just right around the corner, matter of fact, 3 days away, I thought it would be fun to sit down, talk with y'all, get your thoughts on Season 2 and what you hope to see in Season 2 as well. Because Mrs. Freeze is looking pretty nice and pretty cool, especially with the way that she's moving around on this screen. But let's go ahead and get into this discussion for today, and let's go ahead and talk about some Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, y'all. So I wanted to start off by talking about what we're going to be seeing in Season 2, and also it's called Frozen Hearts, which I didn't know. But we're also going to be getting like some new melee weapons, a Parasite type of weapon, Firefly, and also Killer Frost Infamy set. I'm a little excited for these weapons that we are getting for the next episode, because they are very, I like the designs for them, I like how they look, and I'm pretty sure how they're going to play. It seems like half of these weapons are going to be based around freeze afflictions. We might be seeing another type of affliction come into play. Is it an affliction or a status effect? I think poison is a status effect, not an affliction. So we might see a new status effect with these guns where they necessarily like do freeze chip damage. I hope that we see something like that. The way that these weapons look, it seems like they are going to bring something new to the table. And they also seems like the map and the battle pass has some interesting costumes in them. I'm really interested to see all the stuff that we're going to be getting in the battle pass as well, because right now we did see the Toy Man costumes. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I am more interested to see all the costumes and whatnot that we could see from Mrs. Freeze, Harley Quinn. I don't play Captain Boomerang, but I like to see him get some more outfits, because we don't really have too many Captain Boomerang outfits in this game right now, which isn't too great, but it's not too upsetting for me because I don't play Captain Boomerang, so it's whatever. But whenever we're looking at this picture, we do see some of the stuff that's going to be happening in this season. Like, we got a glimpse of the map in the back, and it's also saying that it's going to be a Superman and Flash Brainiac fight. I wanted to talk more about that because I don't know if they're saying as like it's going to be Superman and Brainiac fused together. I mean, Superman and Flash fused together for the Brainiac fight, so it's going to give him different moves. He's going to have like Flash moves and Superman moves. I don't know if that's too interesting, but it's not too upsetting because it's going to give a new type of playstyle for the bosses. But then again, they are pretty much reusing the old type of renders that they have for these bosses and stuff, because if we're just going to go back and use Superman and Flash as boss fights again, all you got to do is just have Brainiac transform between one and the other for one boss fight, and they do the same 3 moves that they've been doing for the past other boss fight missions. I hope that's not the case, but then again, we're not too sure, only because of the fact that they haven't shown us too much around that. I hope we see a little bit more on Season 2 before it releases, like another, what did they release? I would think before they released Season 1, they released some type of video where they talked about the stuff that was coming in Season 1. So I hope they do the same thing for Season 2 so we can get a little insight and maybe some more gameplay of the things that we can expect to see. Then again, that's only speculation. Who knows with who knows what Rocksteady has in plan for us to see, because this game already seems like it's on the back burners. I just hope whenever Season 2 comes out, it gives us like that idea, like maybe this game isn't on the back burners and they're just like, hey, give us some time, the game's gonna improve with each update. Because right now it does look like it's seeming to improve with the next update that's coming out, especially with all the little notes and stuff that they're hinting at for this season. We'll get into more of that, so let's go ahead and move on into the next topic. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Harley Quinn costume that we're getting in Season 2 before I go into the other stuff that I like about Season 2. A lot of people are very upset with the way that the costume is being brought back, but for me, I personally don't really mind the fact that they're changing it up by one small detail, and if I'm pretty sure we all know the detail without me telling it, but that is just strange to me that people really find that the biggest detail, and the fact that, oh, if she's not going to be having that, if her chest isn't going to show all the way, then why are we getting the costume? That's not nostalgia. It is still nostalgia because we're still getting the old costume back from Arkham, from the Arkham games. We like Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is changing herself around. She's done with the whole exposing herself and being like that, I don't know, that eye candy that the Joker's always looked at. I thought that we moved forward on that to the part where we could appreciate the fact that she wants to be her own person. She wants to be her own villain, her own, like, she wants to do things herself. So the fact that they're bringing the costume back and just made a small minor detail doesn't bother me, but it just is upsetting that it bothers a lot of other people, and it makes people like shit on the game for the fact of it, and that, oh, they're censoring certain things. I mean, they're not really censoring anything because you could still see her chest. Her chest is still being shown. So it's just weird that we're even talking about a certain thing like that. So I personally don't care, but I know a lot of people do. I just wanted to get that off my chest because me, whenever that costume comes out, I will be throwing it on Harley Quinn, and she would probably wear that for the most of the time for the rest of the time of me playing this game. Who knows how long this game will last, and who knows what other costumes we will get. But I know that costume for sure was something that I wanted to see when the game first came out, and not something that I wanted to see now. So all I can do is appreciate the fact that they still brought it back, because so many people love the original Arkham costume that Harley Quinn wore. But that's neither here or there. That was a little tangent I had to go on. Let's go ahead and go back into our topics. And we're going to talk about a little bit about what a little bit about what Mrs. Freeze is bringing to the table, along with what is her, I guess, her Elseworld going to offer, because it does say that her Elseworld is going to have a couple different things that's different with the Joker Elseworld, and also with the very first Elseworld that we have, our regular dimension with Brainiac. So I want to talk a little bit about that stuff and see if y'all think that it's good additions, or it's going to be the same mechanic or not. So let's go ahead and get back into the topic. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about what Mrs. Freeze is going to be bringing into the game, because it's seeming like she's going to have an interesting kit and basically play different compared to everybody else. And I'm actually really excited for that whole aspect, because it's saying that Mrs. Freeze can approach combat in a variety of ways, with different tools to suit every method. With heavy weapons, she brings the fight directly to Brainiac's forces, pelting them with a hailstorm of bullets from close to mid-range, which works perfectly with her fast and direct traversal. Yes, we have seen the way that she has moved around the map, and it does look like she's moving really fast on her ice, I don't know, what do you call it? An ice path? An ice, what is it? An ice trail or something like that? I would call it an ice path. But it's looking like she's going to be moving basically all around the map and able to get behind her enemies really, really easily. And it's also saying that, like other members of the squad, Mrs. Freeze comes with 3 different type of playstyles that her talents fit into, offering unique approaches to traversal and combat. The cooler playstyle enables her cryotech, turning her into an unstoppable tank with incredible crowd-controlling freeze powers. I love to hear that, because I definitely would probably be playing with that type of talent tree. I do like the whole freezing aspect of her kit. And you have the physicist playstyle, is all about making fundamental physics fundamental physically with talents that buff melee. Interesting. I don't know if I'm going to use that, because I already have my King Shark as a melee build, and he's already with like the buff and blunts and all that stuff, and he hits hard, so I like that. And then finally, the technician playstyle is all about gear, but being in her firearms or enhancing her cryo boots for better traversal. The playstyle will see Freeze running and gunning or sliding and diving. Love to hear it, because there's going to be different types of ways to play her, and I'm excited that with reading these, it's giving you different type of ways that she's going to be running around the map in dealing with Brainiac's foes. It definitely shows that they're trying to give her a different way of playing compared to everybody else. And I'm definitely going to be using the cooler playstyle, because I do want to see her freeze the enemies around the map. I want to see how much she can do whenever you're dealing the freeze damage, and how that can take her into the other, into that world, because our world is basically built around freeze, because I think she froze her world, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to get back into that. I do think that they have a part where they talk about what her Elseworld looks like, and I do want to talk a little bit about what her Elseworld looks like, because I'm a little excited to see what it looks like. I'm hoping that it looks different compared to Joker's Elseworld, because Joker's Elseworld is cool and all, but you can tell that they use some of the same renders that they have from the Metropolis map, the base one, and then some of the incursion levels that we have. So you know that, like, they didn't really change too much, but they did change a good amount to where sometimes the levels do look different compared to others. So I'm excited about this. Well, I'm excited about that whole aspect, because I want to see what her whole Elseworld brings to the table, because I do believe they said that there's also new hazards. You know how the lightning spawns on the ground and stops your tech from working? I think they're going to be having frozen storms. I don't know if the frozen storm is going to have the same effect, but I am interested I'm happy that they changed it to a different type of hazard and not just kept it, you know, the lightning hazard that we're all used to and we've seen for the past two seasons, because season 0 and season 1, you can count that. Season 0 you can count. So we had 2 seasons so far. This is our 3rd one. So I'm only getting more excited with what I read dealing with Mrs. Freeze, because I'm definitely going to be adding her to my team. I'm going to be replacing her with I think Deadshot or Harley Quinn. Probably Deadshot, because Deadshot's someone that I don't play all the time, and I do want to still keep King Shark, Joker, and Harley Quinn on my team. So Deadshot might be sitting in the ice box for a little bit as Mrs. Freeze makes her way onto my team. But we're going to go ahead and get into the next thing, because I do want to talk about the Toy Man outfits that they dropped, because I definitely like the way that they look and I like the design on it. But let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so like I said, we are going to talk a little bit about the Toy Man costumes that we're going to be getting in Season 2, because that's the first things that they showed. They also showed off a Captain Boomerang Riddler skin, and I believe they said that there's going to be more Riddler skins for the rest of the squad members. But right now we have the Toy Man skins on screen right here, and I do enjoy them. I like the way they all look, and I like the whole, like, I guess, idea of them, because Toy Man's cool. I like his whole, I like how he makes all the type of augments and special things for their guns. So it was only right for him to make costumes for the squad as well. And I like the way they look. They look like little tiny toy characters. Like they look different. It's interesting, and it's also like, I don't know, they're cool looking. Like, I like the Joker one. I like Deadshot's. I don't really like Freeze's and Harley Quinn's. Those look a little weird to me, but they will probably grow on me the more that I play with them whenever the Battle Pass comes out, because I am thinking about using my Battle Pass token to get this Battle Pass. I haven't used it yet. I've just been using the free tiers and getting the free unlocks from all the from the first Battle Pass that we have for this season. But with the Toy Man costumes coming out, I definitely want to grab those, and something's telling me that they're not going to be on the free level of the Battle Pass, which isn't nothing too bad. You know, I do appreciate when games make the cooler skins earnable. I like when games make cooler skins earnable. I usually don't like paying for certain skins, so the fact that these skins might be payable is a little upsetting to me, but it is what it is whenever you're dealing with live service games. It's done everywhere. I mean, all different type of live service games does it. Whenever you wear a certain costume, they're usually locked behind a paywall. But it is what it is. They got to make their money somehow, in some way. I'm not too upset about it, but that is something I wanted to talk about, because I am excited to see the other type of costumes that we get. I do want to see a Riddler costume for Joker and Harley Quinn, since those are people that I play. I don't really want to see one for Deadshot or King Shark, because King Shark it would probably look like how his prison garbs look, like how when he first got out of prison, and now he just had a shirt on, pants, and also you can put on that top hat, the green top hat that he has. So it's not going to look too crazy on King Shark, but I would like to see it on Harley Quinn and the Joker, since they do know Riddler more than the other people, but that's neither here or there. I just want to see the other type of cool costumes that we're going to get, because I don't think that there's just going to be those 4 costumes and they're just going to make those 4 different costumes different colors. That would be very upsetting, and I would literally shit on them for that. But hey, I don't really know what it looks like. We don't really know until the 25th, which is 2 days out. Yes, I'm pretty sure I said 3 days earlier, but I am recording this in the next day, finishing it out. But that's neither here or there. Let's go ahead and move on to our final discussion, our final topics of the day. I want to talk a little bit more about what Mrs. Freeze Elseworlds is going to offer. I do have some stuff I want to read on that, so let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so like I said, we are going to talk a little bit about what is coming in Mrs. Freeze Elseworld, and it's called Hell Freezes Over, so let's go ahead and read what it says. One of the big additions in Seasons 2 is the new frozen Elseworld to explore. You'll find a few familiar sights, the Skull Ship in the sky, and Brainiac's forces are everywhere trying to take over. But this iced-over Elseworld is full of surprises once you break through the permafrost. The world you discover is the result of the final act of sabotage by Mrs. Freeze once she realized the fight against Brainiac on her home world was unwinnable. She has to plan to destroy the Kaluan terraformers by sending the entire planet into an ice age. Interesting. These Arctic conditions have frozen Metropolis solid, leading to the radical different landscape, both in terms of appearance and physical layout. The new ice age has wrought such mayhem on the planet that pools of lava have burst from the ground, adding additional hazards. The ruin of this epic battle between Mrs. Freeze and Brainiac can be seen littered through the world, with machines of war strewn over the city and several landmarks transformed by the aftermath of this conflict. Explore this Elseworld to find a transformed Zeppo Tower and its once great Zeppelins, now stranded in the snow. And at the center of it all, the giant terraformer causing lava to spew forth from where it is burrowed into the earth. Okay, so it is telling us that we are going to be getting a couple new hazards, and I'm interested in the fact of that because we're going to be getting lava coming out of the ground. That's also going to stop us from using our traversal to our abilities, using our traversal to its best abilities, which is going to give us a more, I guess, play style of like dodging things, which I'm excited about because I do like the traversal in this game. That's something that I've always been excited with and like enjoyed playing around with. But when it comes to lava and then the ice storms and then the way that the world is laid out, it seems like it's going to be more difficult to traverse around this Elseworld because of that simple fact. And I do like the fact that Mrs. Freeze was able to put up a fight with Brainiac. She was able to freeze her whole, I guess, town or planet rather, to be able to stop Brainiac, and Brainiac is getting pushed back to where the point she was able to stop one of those terraformers that are now drilled into the earth. So there must have been, so we're going to see some type of dynamics with that. She's going to let us know that she had a plan and all that stuff. So I'm interested to see how she's going to interact with the team and how the team is going to feel about the fact that she came close to actually beating Brainiac and stopping his whole forces and what he had planned. So all we got to do is just wait. We have 2 days. Yeah, right? Yeah, today's the 23rd, so we have 2 days until the 25th, and I'm interested to see just how far this goes. I want to see a story dynamic. I want to see a little bit more for the story, but that's only something that we could dream about. We don't really know we don't really know for sure. Until they show us some more stuff on Season 2, or until we play it ourselves, we don't know what we're fully going to see or expect whenever this comes out. But let's go ahead and finish out my final thoughts and let you know how excited I am for Season 2, if I am, or if I just believe that this game is going to fail after Season 2. So let's go ahead and get into that. So with all we talked about and all that we have read today, am I excited for Season 2? Yes. I'm excited for anything that we see on this game, only because I do enjoy Suicide Squad. I enjoy the characters that we have in this game, and I enjoy the story. I thought that Suicide Squad's story had something going for it, but then again, it has had times where it's fell off track, and then now, with all the stuff that we're getting now with Season 0, 1, and 2, we don't really have a full idea of where the story is going. All I can say is that with Suicide Squad producing and putting out more content, I want to see more of the story unfold and more of the story come together in a cohesive thought rather than it being scattered all over the place. That's what I want to see from Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but I can only dream. So with that being said, I will see y'all on July 25th when we play Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Stay safe and take care, y'all. Peace!